Gonna give it a few seconds. Okay, so this isn't about video podcasting. This isn't about video podcasting. This is about using YouTube like a social media platform without being on camera. I know it's ironic that I'm doing this on camera, but I have to show you how it's done. So that's what this is for. Yesterday I published an episode, an audio episode around the same topic, but clearly not a visual episode because it is an audio episode that went over the mindset, the practicalities. I listed out the different things, the 5 different tips I'm going to give you today, and so on and so forth. So if you want to listen to that after this, please feel free to go to sanandsimplepodcasting.buzzsprout.com. But you're going to get in this particular live video that will then be repurposed as a regular YouTube video. You're going to get the 5 things that you can use to, within probably 10 minutes, once you get the hang of the workflow, optimize your static image podcast YouTube channel so that it can attract more attention. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Faces get most of the attention on YouTube. It is a visual medium. However, that doesn't mean that if you take your RSS feed and attach it to a YouTube channel and have your audio just go straight over to YouTube and you do these 5 things, that you won't get attention. It absolutely doesn't do that. I wouldn't be here if this wasn't possible. And I'll show you examples of different projects in different static image channels in progress, and that we're doing experiments on how to get more and more and more matches, as YouTube calls it, matches with viewers. YouTube matches viewers with videos, not even channels anymore, because they're beyond that. They're doing what a lot of social media is doing, where it's interest based, not follower based. And that's a whole other thing. Gary Vee talks about this a lot, so feel free to dig into his content as well. Because that's where I get a lot of stuff, a lot of the mindset stuff about social media that I think about and adapt comes from Gary Vee, to be quite honest with you, because he's brilliant. Okay, so here we are. You have a static image YouTube channel, or you want to start a static image YouTube channel, and you've set it up with your podcast host, which is a whole other video that you need to watch from your podcast host, or you've imported your RSS feed, you've connected it, it's connected. Every time you have an audio episode come out, boom, a video on YouTube with your audio and your podcast logo is also available on YouTube as an episode/video. Let's not argue about the words, let's go for the discoverability. So the 5 things we're going to work on to do to make that video stand out more, and more importantly, be discoverable, be searchable, be matched with a viewer, are these 5. Ready? Change the episode title. Don't cringe, I'll explain it in a minute, but I know the podcasters are like, I can't, it has to match. No, it doesn't. 1, the title. 2, clean up the video notes. 3, create a different thumbnail. 4, add it to a playlist. 5, add a pinned comment. So I'm going to show you all of these in different stages. I experiment a lot with my own YouTube channels, with the Geopats podcast, which I've just recently started to repurpose content on. It was a 7-year project that I just brought back last week. And Sane and Simple Podcasting, and my client Paul was kind enough to let me show you his stuff. Well, I mean, it's visible, but I might end up behind the scenes in his channel too. We'll see where this goes. And so let's actually start there. I want to show you what this looks like in its entirety at the end before we get into the nitty-gritty. So I want to show you Paul's channel, because that is the one, the static image one I've been working on the most. Share screen. Here we go. So this is kind of the idealized version of what it could look like once you get it set up and and going. So, okay, I'm not a graphic artist, but I did do the artwork on this channel with the help of ChatGPT for color analysis and stuff like that, which is pretty awesome use for that. So I'm not going to go over YouTube setup in this. That's a whole other bag of bones, right? But we've got that. What I want to focus on, and you will see a couple of, we're experimenting with some shorter videos to drive people to his longer videos, and those might actually turn into a static image experience as well. But what I'd like you to see are these here, episode 48, and this is a shorter, or in episode 2. That's when I stopped putting the episode numbers. So you can see it's evolved over time. Like I used to use the episode numbers and everything that you can see down at the bottom here, episode. But what I did do right, I don't think the episode numbers need to be on there. That was an audio pullover that I did that doesn't need to be in there. So don't feel like you have to put your episode numbers. You can, but it doesn't really add value, and it's kind of wasting thumbnail real estate, which we'll talk about in a bit. So what I did do right is actually, we're going to talk about that in thumbnails. What I want to show you though is the personality. Paul collects owls, and he's collected all of these owls. These are owls that he has. And so we pulled in part of his personality into the static image channels. Do the owls have anything to do with bookkeeping, which is his podcast topic? Not necessarily, right? But it is something about him, and it's pulling in his personality that is in the audio into the visuals as well. So this is kind of what I'm thinking, minus the 2 face ones that you'll see there as a current experiment that we're doing, and his welcome video. I want you to look at these thumbnails. This is what your channel can look like, which is a lot nicer than, let me show you the one I just uploaded a couple of weeks ago. My Geopats podcast, I'm reinvigorating it, and some of the artwork's done, but look at this. It's got the same thumbnail throughout. It's not super inviting, is it? It's like same. So all the episodes are the same. I don't need to listen to that. So I'm in the process, and this is one of the examples that we'll show today. This is one of the things that I'm trying to reinvigorate now, because it is, I just started republishing there a week ago, so I need to start changing these 5 things there as well. So that's the overview of what you're going to see me work on in this. Okay, so titles, clean up video notes, thumbnails. Sorry, something in my eye. Thumbnails, add it to a playlist, and add a pinned comment. So let's just do this. I'm going to do this there was a Geopat episode that came out yesterday, so I'm going to show you how I do this there. So we'll start with the title. I tend to use ChatGPT for title help because summarization is not something I do well. And Chatty seems to be quite good with summarization as well as platform adaptation. So that's what we're going to do. Hello. Hello there.
Hey there, what's on your mind today?
Hey, I need to change a title of a podcast episode that's now on YouTube. It is an okay title for an audio podcast, but I need it adapted to the YouTube labeling conventions. So I need your help spicing it up for YouTube, basically.
Got it. Let's make that title pop for YouTube. Can you tell me the current title and what the episode is about?
Absolutely. Let me go into that. The title is about a Chinese internet, he's now an adult, but 10 years ago, he moved from China, where he grew up, over to Scotland for a few years as an international student. And he's reflecting back on a blog post that he wrote about his culture shock. Yeah, that's basically it. The original title, or the audio title, is Chinese International Student in Scotland Writes.
That's a fascinating topic. For YouTube, we can add some intrigue or highlight the emotional or transformative aspect. How about something like, quote, "From culture shock to clarity, a Chinese student's eye-opening journey in Scotland," or "A Chinese student's culture shock in Scotland, reflections 10 years later." We can play around with different angles depending on what you'd like to emphasize.
Sorry, I was busy getting into the video notes. Can you repeat those options again?
Of course. Just let me know the current title of your podcast episode and a bit about the content. That way, we can come up with a YouTube-friendly title that's more engaging and clickable.
Oh, Chatty, I just told you that information. Can you look back, please?
Sure, let me check. The episode is about a Chinese international student who moved to Scotland a decade ago and is reflecting on a blog post he wrote about his culture shock. Let's craft a title that highlights that journey and the unique insights he shares.
Let's do it. What do you think?
How about something like "From Culture Shock to Connection, a Chinese student's journey in Scotland"? That way, it's intriguing and gives viewers a clear idea of what to expect. Let me know if that works or if you want to tweak it.
Yeah, can you say that a little bit slower? I'm going to type it in as you're saying it.
Of course. Here it is, nice and slow. From culture shock to connection, a Chinese student's journey in Scotland. Let me know if that fits well or if you want any changes.
Students, sorry, I have from culture shock to connection, a Chinese international students. What's the rest?
No problem. The rest is Journey in Scotland. So the full title is From Culture Shock to Connection, a Chinese international student's journey in Scotland.
Now this is a replay of an episode that came out in 2018. Does that matter? Do people put like replay or republish on YouTube video titles?
It can be helpful to mention that it's a replay, especially if your audience values transparency or if it's a classic episode.
Okay.
You could add...
Great, that works.
Sure.
Thank you so much. So what you're looking at now is the back end. Sorry, Chatty. What you're looking at now is the back end of this YouTube channel, and I want to make sure you can see it, and you can. Great. So as Chatty and I were talking, I typed in the new title. And did it save it? It must have saved it. It looks like it's doing pretty good. 83 is the score that vidIQ is giving it, which is a whole other thing. Feel free to look into. It's a good resource to use when you get used to the titling. Now again, the title for the audio and the title for video are different. I did an entire video on that, and I'll put that in the video notes for you in case you want to dive deeper into that. But this video today is just a quick overview of how to change these 5 things. So the first thing was titles. We've changed the title. I'm going to keep replay in there, even though I'm still a little iffy on that. Number 2 is the video notes. So let's see. Do you have a spiritual home? Chinese writer. That's a keyword I want to keep in there. International student, keyword I want to keep in there. Edinburgh, Scotland. Blog post. So there's a lot of keywords in here that I want in there in the first few sentences. The first few sentences of a YouTube video notes area, this area here, that's part of how YouTube matches you. It uses the title, it uses, yeah, there's still a lot of speculation if it uses the tags, so I'm not actually covering tags today, as you may have noticed from the 5 that I keep mentioning, but it does use the beginning of your video notes or description, as it calls it in the back end here. So I'm okay with that. The reason why I wanted to show you this is that, no, don't discard changes, save my changes. Okay, tiny glitch. Why isn't it saving changes? Ah, because this needs to be checked. There we go. Okay, and actually once you save your changes, because it came through on an RSS feed, it will give you this this message that says, "Are you sure you're about to update the title? This field is currently updating from the RSS feed. We'll stop updating it from the RSS feed once you save this change." That's fine. I don't generally go in and change the audio or anything like that on my RSS feed. So once it's on YouTube, I'll just change it and adapt it to YouTube. So it'll just be different from audio, which it should be, because it's not, even though it is only audio, it is on a video platform. So you're adapting it for those characteristics. The reason why I have changing the video notes on here is I'll show you an older one. I'm hoping it has it in oh no, I can't. I think I have to go into a different YouTube channel to this. Okay, I'm going to show you Sane and Simple Podcasting instead. When you have like dynamic ad insertion, or not dynamic ad insertion, when you have messages that your podcast host has, like there's a fan mail feature in Buzzsprout, which is really cool, but it has like a line or two of text that show up. Have I deleted all of them? I've updated all of them. And they'll show up in the beginning of the video, but you don't want them to show up in the beginning of the video because that is not useful information. I did delete all of them. Wow, due diligence, me. What you want to do is make sure, let's go back to this one, is to make sure that the beginning of the video notes, the description in your audio video, the keywords, no information that is just audio platform specific. I can't show you because I cleaned it up, which is awesome, but also annoying because then I can't show you. But there you have it. So make sure that that's clean. Make sure that any gaps or any formatting is, like this here looks terrible. What? Okay, that doesn't need to be there. That's going to be distracting for a video person, so make sure that that's okay. Just like give it a once over. Make sure it looks good. It takes almost no time at all. And then that's that. And then we need to go to number 3, which is thumbnail. I already did the thumbnail ahead of time because this is not a video on how to make a thumbnail. So I created it. I use Stencil, but you might use Canva or some other platform. It doesn't matter. And it is, oops. Not saved where it should be. So let's get that saved. So I can pull that in here. Again, the first one was title, update the title for the YouTube platform because it is a different feel. The second one was video notes. Make sure there aren't any audio platform only specifics in there. And the third one is this thumbnail. So let's upload the new thumbnail. Oh, before we do, can you see how terrible the thumbnail over on the left-hand side, on how that looks? It pulls in your podcast logo because that's what RSS does. But that doesn't look good when people do this and go back and show you. Yes, we get the same message. We say yes because we do want to adapt it to this platform. And I mean, this is how people are gonna, let me actually show you in the feed as a viewer of this channel. I mean, even the difference from this non-episode specific thumbnail to the ones that just come straight from RSS feed look better. It still doesn't look great because it's different. It's the same for each one, right? Like that's not super helpful in the vibe of that episode, but it's better. At least it fits. The thumbnail fits. Whoops, no, I don't want to play that. But the thumbnail fits. Whereas what the RSS feed brings in doesn't actually fit. So we want to change it so it's at least adaptable. So at least it's visible in a way that looks good and can entice people to come in. Now you can use any kind of visuals that you want. You don't have to use the face visuals of the person or people involved in it. I am obsessed with coffee. If you're just discovering me now, you know I'm obsessed with coffee. I tend to bring coffee into my visuals. And so I'm updating it, and you can see the new one is right there, but I'll show you in big form in just a second. Rumor has it that 3 to 4, or people who do this well say 3 to 4 words maximum for the words that you're going to use. So here is the new thumbnail. I like it. I think the peak could be a little bit higher. It looks like it's almost getting cut off there. So yeah, I probably need to fix that a little bit more. What I like to do, a recent thing that I've started to do, is to put the audio symbol somewhere on it so people know it's not a video. You're not going to really be watching people. And so it's a transparency thing. You don't have to do that, but I find that it just makes it more clear that this is, it looks nice and pretty, but you're not actually going to be watching any motion stuff in this. It's going to be audio only. Now, when you upload that thumbnail, that is the thumbnail that people see, that they'll get suggested to, and that it's the first thing they'll see. But when they play the video, it'll go back to the podcast logo. There's no way to change that right now, and that's fine. There's no way to change that right now, and that's totally fine. But the point is that they're getting enticed from the actual episode specific one that does give the vibe of the episode, and that's what you really want to do. And also you're giving not just a visual image, but you're giving them some text to know this is about a Chinese, as you heard a few minutes ago, this is about a Chinese student who went to study internationally in Scotland, and he really jived with the place. And so it turned out to be his soul place, a place that he feels really comfortable being in and he really connected to. So that's why I pulled those words in there. So you really want to get, again, 3 to 4 words maximum. Make them big and bold and stick out. I'm not, again, a visual artist or anything. I'm experimenting constantly with these things. But make them, once you get used to how to make them, it'll probably take you maybe 2 or 3 minutes to select an image, add some text, and the audio logo or icon symbol, the audio symbol, and then you're done. So again, once you get used to this, the entire process of the 5 things that I'm over describing today, because I feel like you should know the ins and outs of them, I think it'll take you less than 10 minutes per video. So every time your RSS feed pushes your new audio podcast episode over to YouTube, you just go in and you boom, 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 and do these 5 things. Now, it was rewrite the episode title for YouTube conventions. Number 2 was update the video notes, make sure that the formatting's good, make sure that there isn't any audio specific stuff, and make sure the keywords are in the first 2 sentences. The third one is add an episode specific thumbnail. Even though it won't show during the video itself, when they're playing the audio and the videos, quote unquote playing, it will still give people a sense of what the video is about in visualness and in words. And number 4 is playlists. So let's go back in the back end here. I need to actually show you a different one because I don't have playlists set up on that channel yet. Again, I just started republishing last week and I've got a lot of work to do. But I can show you playlists on the Sane and Simple podcast episodes. So let me make sure that's playing. Great. So once you set up the playlist, which is another video entirely, then all you need to do is go, this is the back end of your video. You go down, 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 down below the thumbnail, and there's this area called playlists. There we go. And you click on that, and you can click on, I have a bunch of different playlists here. So you can click on multiple playlists. This one really only fits into one, but you can actually for one video click on multiple playlists. The reason why you want multiple playlists, or the reason why you want to encourage playlists, is it encourages people to watch or listen, whatever word you want to use here, more than one of your videos, more than one of your episodes. For example, in Geopets, I will have episodes on books, music, internet, language, and so when people are really interested in learning a different language and then how that grounded my guests, they can go into the playlist on language and stay there and watch multiple videos in there. And the more movement that happens, I have to stop and say this because this is the gist of YouTube as a social media channel. The more movement that happens on your channel, and movement being activity, any activity that happens is good, and it will tell YouTube that people are engaging with your content, and they'll match your content, your video, to more viewers. So the more activity you have in your videos, the more activity you will have in your video with your videos. So you really want to encourage people to watch more of your stuff. Also because they're there. They're there for a reason. They're there because they searched for something and they found your videos. Now point them to the other ones like it so they can keep watching and learning from you. It makes sense, right? We're here for searchability. We are on YouTube to be found, for people to search and find our videos and learn from us. Boom. There we go. So is that how most people view social media? I don't know, but that's how I view social media. I learned how to cook via Instagram Reels, so I don't know. It could be a different viewpoint, but I think it's one that can really expand your audience. So that's number 4 is playlist. Number 5 is one I forget a lot of the times, but it's really powerful and I keep hearing people recommend it. So I've actually added it back to my worksheet just this week, and it's pinning a comment on a video. Now you don't just want to pin a comment like this was fun to make it valuable. Engage with the audience, make it valuable. So let's go back into that video of that student on geopaths, and let me share that with you here. So we're almost done. We're on the 5th thing. Boom, boom, boom. Oh my goodness, I have way too many things open. Let me go. Let me go here. Yes, we're there. Okay. So, I'm under the wrong account. Just a moment. Too many things open. If you do have multiple channels, this is a reminder to be in the right channel when you leave your comment, because it might not make sense otherwise. Okay, so we are here in this episode. We are boom, boom, boom. So here's the video description, and we go down to the comment section here. You can do anything. You can send people to you can say, hey, more information in our newsletter. You can say, you can ask them a question like I'm about to do. Anything you do is activity, and especially if people read it and respond to it, that is the point, is to create a community where people will, engage with the content, not just view it and walk away. So have you studied abroad? That's too specific. What about Shing's experience resonated with you? I don't think I want that as past tense. Resonates with you. Ooh, be good if I could spell. There we go, resonates with you. You could also put I don't know if I want to put these in the same place, but I've also heard that putting links to things that are important that you want them to go to, like your CTA links, is good there. I'll try this out. So that's creating the comment. Thank you, YouTube. But now you have to pin it. So there it is. Okay, so then you go over to this little 3 dots that has a name I never remember, and you hit pin. Pin this comment. If you already pinned a comment, this will replace it. That's fine. This is the first one. And boom, there you go. So you want to do this as the 5th thing to optimize your audio only static image YouTube videos. If somebody else beats you to it before you do these 5 things, pin their comment, because that's a very powerful indicator to YouTube that people are engaging. Of course, pin their comment if it is kind. If it's horrible, you have the option of deleting comments now, which you didn't when I first started YouTube in 2017. So I'm really glad that button exists now, because some people, You've all heard. You've all heard. So yeah, so there's that. So again, rewrite the title, update the video notes, update the thumbnail, add it to playlist or playlists, and pin a comment to stroke engagement. We are viewing YouTube as a social media place, as a place to be found, as a place to be matched to with the YouTube algorithm, as a place to engage with other people who are interested in the same subjects. That's how I'm viewing YouTube. That's how I encourage my clients to view YouTube. A lot of them are business clients, so it's also a lead generator, but those things, those elements lead to all of the things. It pushes people down your marketing funnel, and however you want to phrase it, it creates a trusting, valuable, value-led community experience on YouTube. Will people come to your static image YouTube channel as much as they'll go to motion video channels? Most likely not. However, big channels, static image channels do exist. In fact, let me see. There's one that I found recently, and I'll show you how many hits he's getting. There we go. Cold War Conversations. Phenomenal podcast. And even his trailer is a static image. So you can see he's got over 10,000 subscribers. And these are all, so you changed the thumbnail, but they're all static image videos. Audio, static image audios. And you'll see when you click on here that even though that thumbnail is attractive, it reverts back to the logo. So it's inevitable. You can't really change that. But I hope that inspires you that there are static image YouTube channels out there that garner that much attention. So there you have it. Be discoverable, produce content, produce valuable content, and adapt your audio experience to the YouTube platform just a bit. You don't need fancy cameras or lots of lighting unless you want to go that route, and that's a whole other person because I don't do any of that. Clearly, I record in my living room, right? That I'm about sane and simple podcasting. So these 5 things should take you less than 10 minutes for each new episode that comes out. Put it at the end of your workflow. After you publish your audio episode, have another column for Optimize YouTube, and then put the link to this video so you remember the 5 things you should be doing, the 5 things you can be doing. Next week, I'm going to go into more things that you can do when I talk about a conversation I had with a business owner, small business owner who has a motion video channel. She has the talking head videos. And there are things that we talked about that you can do in addition to these initial 5 quick ones. They're a little more in depth, but what I'm going to focus on next week are the ones that can apply to a static image channel, because this is where I'm pitching my tent now. I'm really over people pushing super glossy videos for podcasts. I think most people don't have that. I think a lot of people don't have time for that, but they're not utilizing YouTube because they think that's the only way to do it. So this is where I'm pitching my tent, and this is where I want to help you the most, is with these static image channels. Okay, so I'll be talking, so it's like a part 2 next week. Same time, same location, same channel, sane and simple podcasting, clearly. If you've liked this, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and most of all, leave a comment. Pass it on to someone. I know I just did like 4 CTAs at once, which breaks every rule that I have, but I'm really excited that you're thinking of optimizing your static image YouTube channel, or you're thinking of starting one because it feels more approachable. I am so excited that you have a podcast and we have your voice in this space, and I really want to help you expand that. Let me just quick double check my notes to make sure I haven't missed anything. And remember, you're not, with doing these 5 steps, you're not creating extra content. You're just optimizing what you've already uploaded. That's it. That's all I have for today. I hope this helps you. Again, if you want more of a deep dive on the mindset of viewing YouTube as a social media platform, you've got the audio episode available on all platforms.